Well, I don't know if my chat's going to rotate tonight. It's saying to rotate. There we are. Let me just do something with my rotation. Okay. Let's try that again, shall we? Is it going to allow it? Okay, my rotation is locked for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Bear with me a second. All these new phones. Oh. Right, I'm going to have to turn my phone around that way. Okay, well, what can we say? What can we say? I'm going to try and come here, banana. You look like something that could hold my phone up without it falling arse over. Okay, well, look, good evening. Fisherman here. So before we get started, I've got a fly in the way. Before we get started, like, subscribe if you wouldn't mind. Little like button down there, and obviously subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Fisherman's Bluez. I'm in me pink tonight. And this is about as exciting as it got today, let's be honest. And I feel that we need to talk more. Good evening, Jay. How you doing? I'm getting absolutely mullered here by fruit flies. I don't know where they're coming from. But anyway, for me tonight, I'm not happy. I was lovely last week. I was lovely. Obviously, we won 5-0 against a very poor Sheffield side. And tonight, our saving grace is the rain, because that was as bad as exciting as it got. I've got a few gripes, and you probably heard it all before from me. But it's becoming, it's become a topic of conversation between me and my family, me and my kids, friends that I work with, friends that that are town fans outside of social media. And you're right, Jay. That was absolutely piss poor, and I mean, it was, wasn't it? Let's be fair. The rain was, that was next level, wasn't it? And that was our saving grace. And we can make all the excuse. I'm being attacked by fruit flies. What the hell? Go over there. Go and play over there with a banana. That was our saving grace, the rain, because that first half was as poor as you got. And while we had a great win last week, this week we've been let down by the players, by the manager, and people say, "Oh, we haven't been let down." We have. When are we going to learn when to play out and when not to play out? These are professional footballers that are on, some are on 60 grand a week. And we're down to 10 men, and we're playing out from back. And I'm like, on what planet? We don't play into the channels. We don't play, we just, it's just, McKenna for me is a one-trick pony with his management style. Getting out of League One, brilliant. You've heard it all before from me, great and all that. Got to the Premier League, that was more about the team rather than McKenna. The team spirit, the momentum, that's what got us to the Premier League. We were pacey, we were fast, we were quick, we were everything that we are not right now. And I know that last week we beat Sheffield United, but let's be fair, they were shocking. And we made them, look really bad, and they made us look really good. Today was an absolute shit show. From the start, it really was. We've got, our starting lineup, same team that started last week and won 5-0. And look, get involved here. Look, what got to you? What do you guys think on it? Good evening, Cruncher. How you doing? If you've just joined on this channel. My good friend Suffolk Crunch will probably be doing his report on it. But for me today, back to piss poor performances across the pitch. O'Shea, piss poor. Greaves, piss poor. And Hurst, piss poor. What was Greaves doing? I mean, honestly, I've seen lorries turn quicker. And just to think that Kieran McKenna says, oh, yeah, we want Burgess to stay. No, what you didn't want, Kieran, you didn't want him. You couldn't guarantee him first team football because you're too. We must play Greaves, we must play O'Shea. They are our best two defenders. Are they fuck? So excuse my French, but are they hell? They're not. I have not seen nothing since they came in. And, to say to me that they are Premier League, anywhere near Premier League defenders, let alone Championship defenders. Again, just simply not doing the basics right. Blackburn were just physical, tough to beat, dogged, energetic, work rate was high. My son Jake's in the chat. If you want to have a look, say hello to Jake. He's in the chat. My boy, he plays football. He knows how I feel about football. He understands how I play the game. And McKenna's paid what? Good million, over $1 million a year. And you're telling me that, on the training pitch, they're not doing simple, quick passing football, Because when it comes to game day, today it was slow, methodic, no real pace to the passing. And I know the pitch was wet come a second half, but first half, I struggled to keep my eyes open watching that dross. And then obviously Greaves gets sent off, and oh my days, we continue to try and play out from the back. And then what happens? We get Furlong, that's it. Penalty, and that was it, 1-0 down. And I just genuinely didn't see us coming back from that. I didn't see, right, let's read, actually, Joe, what? Let's read this. Think the best player on the pitch today was Matty Siwa again, but he lost possession easy a few times this afternoon. Jay, I have to agree, but that pitch didn't help. There was a lot of water on that pitch. Getting towards the end of the first half, that was getting really, really bad. Trevor says, evening, Trevor. How you doing, my man? Played Greaves over Burgess because he's paid a lot of money for him. But in my opinion, Burgess better and deserved a better contract. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Burgess should not have been sold, should not have been let go. Should have been offered a 3-year deal. By far one of our best centre-backs. And O'Shea, I've still yet to see this so-called captain that we get from him. I really don't see it. And, when you look at what Middlesbrough are doing this season, and you think to yourself, well, they've got off to a good start. They're top of the table right now. The momentum, I'm getting bugged by fruit flies, driving up the wall. Get out of my face, you buggers. Anyway, Shane, hi, the puddles on the, people, I had a couple of messages saying that puddles on the pitch. Burnsy, my old mate. New series out, Saved by the Rain. Absolutely, I totally agree. It's, Graham, I get it. I get the conditions were bad, but they're bad for both teams, my friend. And, we're supposed to have this wonderful wonderful championship side on paper, but I've yet to see anything off paper other than the win last week. And, again, it's just slow. It's a foxtrot, it really is. And it's just really poor. And we can make excuses, and fans will make excuses. And I don't want, excuses. I want effort on the pitch. And we don't, there's only about 4 or 5 players that are probably given effort on the pitch. We go down to 10 men and Hurst still stays on the pitch. That for me he didn't offer nothing when we had 11 players, and yet he stayed on the pitch when we had 10 players. Akpom wasn't great today. you can blame the pitch and all that, but it's the same for both teams. And the problem is we only have one way of playing, and that's playing out from the back, breaking the lines. And when it works, it's great, but when it doesn't work, for me, look. I said it the other week, and I've actually put about. I think we'll make the playoffs this season. I do not think we'll be automatic. I think there's far better teams teams. That's the key word here. Team. There's far better teams in this league than us right now. Andy, I get it. Nothing is won in September, but you've got to have momentum, fella. You've got to have some sort of momentum. And our momentum has been a shambles since we got to the Premier League. And this is something, when you talk about Premier League teams, just take a look at what Sunderland and Leeds are doing when they get the recruitment right and they spend wisely and they go abroad and they invest in quality rather than quantity, invest in quality rather than quantity. I honestly believe Leeds will stay up, and I think Burnley probably will go down. I think Wolves are pretty much will go down. Whereas we were just huff and puff and make do. And I get obviously, that obviously we had a lot of League One players and stuff like that. Look, Jay, I'm going to be honest. How do we feel about Norwich coming up? They aren't in the best shape themselves. I don't know what to think, really, genuinely. And Trevor, you're right. I did say at the start of the season my prediction would finish top 2, pre-season prediction. But that was based on on the players we'd brought in and the players, and how we would play. And Kieran McKenna doesn't want to play. He has one way of playing. He doesn't know how to play any other way. We seem to have, I'm not kidding, we seem to have the luck of the fucking Irish right now. I tell you, I'm not kidding. Right? Birmingham, penalty, last few seconds of injury time. Get a penalty, get a draw there. And today, the rain, you just think, my God, how much luck can we borrow? Because any other day we'd have lost that. Does Greaves' red card stand now? No idea, because the game was abandoned. No idea. If it doesn't stand, he's got he's got a lot to bloody learn about being a defender. Neither O'Shea or Greaves give me any confidence as a defender. They don't. They haven't from the start, and they won't going forward. We've, like I said, the saving grace today was our defenders. Right, let's go from the Palmer. Did he do much wrong today? No, I don't think he did much wrong. I thought he did okay. Furlong, look, he had a cracking game last game. This game, look, when you're trying to pass out the back and you're being pressed like that, and you're down to 10 men, it was suicidal. Furlong for me didn't do much wrong. Greaves and O'Shea both poor today, in my opinion. Just O'Shea always worries me. Greaves, he's like a hot and cold tap. 1 week good, 1 week bad. O'Shea is just consistently poor at the moment, in my opinion. Can head the ball, that's about it, really. Our right side is still pretty awful. McAtee, I've yet to see anything that suggests he's a quality player. Cajuste, I thought he did all right today. Matt Seaware, probably player of the game, player of the match, if I'm honest, from us. Probably the best player on the pitch. Davis put some wonderful balls in, but Hurst was still stuck in the D. Grow, I think. I swear to God, where the hell are these fruit flies coming from? Everywhere. You can't make it up. and like I say, Akpom, Akpom, he just today, nothing stuck to him. It was just very difficult all round. Trevor says, does it really matter if Greaves misses a game? Capri deserves a chance. Well, he couldn't do no work. Couldn't do no worse than Greaves right now. So yeah, I need Burns back. Oh my God, do we need Burns back? Completely, he'll offer so much on that right hand side. Players don't like playing against him, and that says everything. We signed this McAtee, and it's just, for me, it's just not working out. I don't understand. We played. Johnson, didn't we? We played him up a couple of times. He did okay. He's obviously not first choice right back now. So how about pushing Ben Johnson forward? Because he can't do no worse than McAtee. Because for me, McAtee was like, Philogene quiet today, had one chance where McAtee placed that ball into him, hit it first time. I think if they'd put some pace behind it, it might have gone in. But that was about it. Again, lack of shots, lack of effort up front. Hurst is not the same player. Again, we got Igeli. Why didn't he start? I just can't see what McAtee offers. I really genuinely can't, and it's a shame because we've spent all this money on him, and it's just not working out. But the basics of football are kind of being lost a little bit, and when you're being pressed like Blackburn and Derby and all that. Oh God, who else did we play recently? I can't tell what. My head's fried. I've had such a week at work. And it's difficult. Burnsy says, "I was so negative, Mike." Hey, I'm realistic. I say it as it is. Always have done. Always will do. Burnsy also says, "Give Akpom a chance, mate. He will do good for you boys." No, yeah, there's a player in there. It just doesn't help when you've got a player up front who's running like a headless chicken most games. I thought he was poor last game, to be fair, until he scored. And I thought he was poor. He scored a goal, but I still thought he was poor. So, I just think other players need to be given a chance now. I think Hurst, for me, is, just one of them players that's just, I don't know, he's more interested in doing his hair and dyeing his hair than he is doing his football, because he doesn't chase down like he used to. But we've lost that again. It's like I said, how the hell do you go from beating a side like Sheffield United 5-0, giving all the fan base some hope, to watching that dross, that absolute dross today, first half. Forget about the second half. That, on hindsight, they should never have gone ahead. But first half, they're watching that dross. It was just embarrassing. And it just, we can't be doing that. We really can't be doing that. We've got to start getting our act together. Otherwise, it's just going to be another season in the Championship next year, and we just, like I said last week on the show, teams, when a team is playing well, that's a psychological advantage, massive psychological advantage. Right now, Middlesbrough are on form. Teams are going there thinking, right, we need to, do that. We got to, and that's the thing. I said it last week. I feel like I'm repeating myself every live stream. Ipswich, we are predictable with our play. We are predictable with the way we play out from the back. We are predictable across our midfield. We are predictable up front sometimes. What we need to be is a little bit unpredictable. We need to be more direct with our passing. We need to be more energetic. And we are not at the moment. And like I said, in that first half, Sheffield United, I didn't think we were particularly great. The second half, we came out and we got the second goal. But I think other teams will go to Sheffield United and do that. I really do. But right now, I wouldn't want to play Middlesbrough. I wouldn't want to play Stoke. I wouldn't want to play any of the top 6 right now because I don't think we'd beat them. I genuinely don't. I think we'd struggle. I wouldn't want to play Swansea right now. And I know they lost today, but I still wouldn't want to play them. I'm worried about Norwich. Genuinely worried about it. And I hope I come on here after the Norwich game saying, well, at last. Because for me, that is the be-all and end-all of my season. You know, the start of the season. When it comes to Norwich, we've got to beat them. We cannot have them come to Portman Road and turn us over or get a draw. That's not acceptable. Not acceptable whatsoever. And any fan says, oh, a draw against Norwich at home is acceptable, ain't an Ipswich fan. You're a plastic fan, simple as. Norwich, we need to be beating them at home. So, you know, it's ridiculous to think that some fans seem to think it's okay if we get a draw against Norwich. Because it's not okay. Under no circumstances. My good friend Burnsy, who's been in the chat, he's an Arsenal fan, right? Ask him whether he wants to lose to Tottenham or draw at Tottenham at home. Ask him. Absolutely not. I've said this before. We lose to Norwich, Kenner goes. For me, he loses my support completely. I've said it before and I'll say it again. So, win or bust, I'm afraid, McKenna. Ball's in your court now, and it's up to you to raise the players for that game. Because if we lose that game, you can bugger off. Walk out that door, don't come back. Because at the end of the day is, you know, old fans like me go back in the 70s. And a lot of fans on here, Graham probably goes back way back as well. Good friend Richard goes back. Colin goes back. They do not want to be losing to Norwich at home. Drawing is bad, but losing would be horrendous. And for me, that would be the last nail in Kieran's coffin, because I've said, although it's easy when we've won loads of games and why after all these years is it not acceptable? It's never been acceptable, Burnsy. It's never been acceptable. Mick McCarthy lost his job because he told the fans to F off. After we got we got that game against Norwich, scored that last minute equaliser. You know, just before that we scored and he thought we'd won the game and he told the fans go off. No, not for me. And Crunchy, you call me Negative Nelly, mate. I'm not a soft touch. I'm not a fence sitter. I will say it as it is. And for me, we lose a Norwich game, Kieran McKenna can go. And I'll stand on my stance on that. Do I think we'll lose a Norwich game at the moment? I don't know. I wouldn't put. Yeah, you know what, Eric? You're absolutely spot on. We've got to beat Norwich on the 5th. Evening, David. Hope you're doing well. Burnsy. Yeah, I'm going to go back to Burnsy. Why? Okay, so Burnsy, would you take a draw against Spurs at home? Would you take a draw against Chelsea at home? I don't think you would, mate. Ever take a draw against them, would you? You know? You play Spurs at home, Burnsy. On the bigger picture. Oh, okay. So you lose to Spurs. I'm going to hold you to that, my man. You lose to Spurs at home, and I'm going to hold you to that, because I can promise you now, half your fan base will want Arteta out. I can tell you that now. You won't win the league, mate. It's no way in a million years you're going to win the league. Not in a million years. There's for me that City and Liverpool are far better sides, in my opinion. So you're not winning the league, unfortunately, bud. Dominic Dean, evening, mate. We need to start Nunez and get him in the team. We got a lucky one today. If we don't pick up any points before the Norwich game and also lose to them, I think McKenna will be on thin ice. Finger crossed at one head. Southwark Crunch, head loss. Yeah, no, it's not called a head loss. It's called reality, Rich. You know who I am. I've never changed my stance on things. How long do I get? Do you know what? I've said this before. I don't think McKenna will be here at the end of the season. I don't think he will. I'll be shocked if he is. I don't think he will. I don't think we're playing good enough. I don't think we are going to get the game going. Anyway, right, let's start that again. I don't think we're going to get our season properly going until end of October, and we might get a few runs together. I think, look, like I said, I think we'll make a playoffs, but we're out of the contention for top two completely. You've got to get the game going. You've got to get the season started from right at the very beginning. If Potter gets sacked, he might go to West Ham. Away you go. Off you go then. Bring in Rosenia. For me, Liam Rosenia, someone like that. Hopefully, you know, get this team sorted out. I have read the comment, Burnsy. I've read it. I'm just saying. You're saying you'd rather win the league than lose. The fact is, you're not going to win the league. And you could end up losing the Scum as well, mate. You know what I mean? So, trouble is Ashton backs him no matter what. I think Ashton's part of the problem. He's done great things for the club, but I also think his recruitment is poor. Yeah, I did want him sacked after the Bristol Rovers game. And after players weren't happy after that game, Rich. So, you know, they all had a big old clear out. And after that game, season changed. I think West Ham would take a gamble on McKenna. I genuinely do. You know, this is the thing, you see. We talk about stats. We are honestly talking about stats. And like I said, McKenna's stats are poor. You know, we've won one game this season. Had it not been for the rain, we'd have lost that today. No way we were coming back into that. We just didn't look anywhere near a team that were coming into that. Don't agree with sacking McKenna. That's the beauty. Look, at the end of the day is, I'm not saying sacking him right now, but there is limits to what I'm personally willing to tolerate. And I know the fan base, most of the fan base won't agree with me because they've got, you know, Kieran McKenna goggles on. But we've only won, you know, we 44 league games, and the last 44 league games, no, can we beat Chelsea? So, you know, but the thing is, we haven't won many games. We've lost too many games under McKenna. And our recruitment last season was poor. Recruitment this season is questionable. Yes, I know that people are saying we needed to bring in new players, but I think we've got to take our beer goggles off because have we really seen anything this season or last season, right, that suggests that McKenna can get us promoted? I just can't see it. I can't. I genuinely can't. I think he's reached his saturation point. I think he's used up all his credit, used that up last season. And, you know, we cannot... Look, at the end of the day, is we're a club spent a lot of money, and there's teams around us now that have got massive owners like Bristol City, Birmingham, you know, and they've all got lots of money coming in. Dominic, I get it. You feel that my head's on a wobble, but I look into... Okay, Ranieri won the Premier League with Leicester. 2 years later, lost his job. Burley got promoted, got us into Europe, lost his job. The end of the day is, you know, it is what it is. The reality of the situation is you're only as good as the time you're actually now. It was wet from your armchair, Mike. Oh, that old joke. Do you know what I mean? It's like same old, isn't it? Oh, let's come out with the armchair bloke. Oh. But yeah, so at the end of the day is, you know, for me, it was a piss poor show today, and I feel sorry for the fans that went all that way to watch that crap. And it was nice to see them all singing at the end and happy clapping McKenna's team at the end. That was brilliant. Oh, same happy clappers that clapped them to League One. Nah, not for me. That team today was poor. Credit where credit was due last week, but they got to take a fucking hammering off me this week because they were shit. They really were. Tactics were wrong. Playing style was wrong. The pitch was shit. The football was shit. Blackburn were there for the taking. And, you know, it was just poor. Okay, so Dominic says, right, totally disagree, Mike. We've had a massive overhaul in the summer. He needs and will get time. He's a good manager, and I think you'll eat your words. Nothing personal. Dean, I would never take nothing personal from you, mate. I'm not saying he's a bum. Look, there comes a point. There comes a point where you have to take your goggles off and see where and how a manager is doing. And right now, we're not doing very well. And they were applauding the match abandoned. I reckon they were. I reckon they were more chuffed about that. And, you know, I was buoyed by, so Jay said, I was buoyed by Sheffield United performance, but today we were frying. It was, today I thought we'd be flying. I was bored in the first half. Womble says, we weren't great last week. United just couldn't finish. I have to agree. There was times when we weren't poor. Jay Collins, Birmingham fan. Love to see a Birmingham fan in here. I love to see all types of fans in here. It's always nice. You were lucky to get a point against us. I can't disagree. I think it was absolutely bang on the money. I thought you were very good for your, very good for a win, but we didn't. Yeah, we have played 5 games. Yes, 5 games. Come on. Yeah, we played 5 games and we won 1. There we are. Remind me of what coaching badges you've got, Mike. Level 1. I don't know what your point is there. Let's wait and see about McKenna. He deserves the season. No, he doesn't. He had that last season. We've lost 1. Yes, we've lost 1 game this season. But do we look like we're going to win many games? That's my other point. We don't look like we're going to win many games. So, up the Villa, Ipswich lose. No, we didn't lose, mate. But it was an absolute piss poor performance to the point it was pissing down with rain. We beat the Blades, but they are the worst team in the league. Can't disagree with that. Again, this is what I mean. This is the reality of it all, But apparently, if you're a season ticket and you're able to go away to every game and go to home every game, that makes you more knowledgeable than someone like myself. So, go back to 2 up front. No, it's not a case of just going back to 2 up front. I just think sometimes you've got to get rid. Oh, you've killed my Aka. Don't even get me started on Aka. I thought, I changed it. I did my Premier League fantasy team today. I just said that before the game started. It's like, should do well. And then, fuck me, Chelsea keeper gets me minus. I could have cried. And that's true, Trevor. What you're saying is right. He's only won 1, and that is, he's only won 1. And that's including Bromley. We lost to Bromley. So, with respects, how many more games? So, are you going to say, Dean, are you going to say the same when we're 10 games in and we've only won 2 games? Are you going to say the same? Are you going to say him after? Are you going to say the same after if we lose to Norwich? Are you going to say the same? Because that's my point. It's not the case I want McKenna sacked. This is the problem. I don't want him sacked. I want him to sort his shit out because there is a good manager in there. But, agreed. Dominic, I absolutely agree. We've lost one. And you say about my only criticism. My only criticism isn't the substitutions, because that is completely agreed, totally agreed. The substitution does my head in, right? It's this constant, consistent playing out from the back crap I get fed up with. You know, you've only got to look at. I mean, Liverpool today we're playing some long passes, yeah, some direct play, and they were playing up against a very dogged Everton side. I thought that was a good game. So let's read some comments here. What we got here? There is no plan B. There is the issue. I agree. There is no plan B. It doesn't seem there's plan A with different players. What worries me is the team is really missing Chaplin, Burgess, Wolford. And yes, they weren't world beaters, but they were better than the players that replaced them. And that says everything you need to know. And if Kieran McKenna feels that them players, Greaves and O'Shea, right, are better than what we got rid of, then he is not a great manager, because they are better than what we've got. O'Shea, poor. Greaves turns like a lorry. I mean, that was like watching Chambers of old, that was, today. Maybe we could give it a little bit of, okay, so should we say, okay, the pitch was crap, so that made them crap. That's all. Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to blame something other than the players. Oh, we'll blame the pitch. We'll blame the referee because the referee was crap. We'll blame the pitch was waterlogged. We'll blame the ball. Maybe that weren't round. Maybe the lines weren't 100% straight. You know, maybe the wind caught the ball at the wrong moment. You know, or a bubble burst on a puddle that moved the ball so the player couldn't make a simple pass. But there we are. Let's make excuses. Was this year's game suspended? Yes, it was waterlogged pitch. McKenna Stars playing out from the back. Each manager has it. Do you like McKenna, Mike? Really? I'm starting to dislike him. I've said that for a while. Last year he grated on me. The same old excuses. It's draining. It's wearing thin on me. Like I said, Dean, you don't have to agree with me. It's okay. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, and you have a right to say what you've got to say. And you can say that you feel like I'm saying is wrong. It's fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. I'm not taking it personal. You can say, you can disagree. Atreides, they've been crap for all 5 games. Attackers beat a rubbish Sheffield United team. I mean, Philogene was brilliant in that game. I'm not going to say that. I thought there were some good players, but I think it doesn't help when, like I said, it doesn't help when Sheffield United were so poor. But Blackburn was shocking. I mean, Blackburn were absolutely shocking that first half, and we didn't even do anything. Still second best league in the world. I mean, look, let's be honest. If it weren't for the fact that we'd just come down from the Premier League, we'd be all happy, I guess. We wouldn't be happy with the start, but I think that's the problem. I think maybe we could argue that there's you could argue that we got a bit of hangover from the Premier League. Well, I just never felt we really competed in the Premier League. I just felt that far too many players were brought in. I think we were trying to do too much too soon. This Dom. Sorry, Dom. I was just looking at your last name. Sorry, Dominic. Dom. It's Dom, not Dean. Lol. Equals I disagree. I personally think it needs to change the team today, but why change a winning team? There's an argument there, but I don't think I'd have played Hurst up front from the start. I genuinely don't. I wouldn't have played him. I didn't think he had a particularly great game, but I guess because he scored, you have to play him. I don't know. That's why Kieran's paid the big bucks. But he's got to take some criticism. That's the thing. If you know, and in hindsight, looking forward, are we gonna beat Norwich? No idea. We've got look. Blackburn was a 3-pointer, as is Portsmouth. Norwich was always a game. It's a derby. I felt if we got a run together between now and the Norwich game, we'd beat Norwich comfortably, and we'd be all walking, and we could sit here and say, well, you know, Fisherman lost his head, and you all can say, look, you know, Fisherman, we told you so. McKenna's a great manager. Adi, how you doing, mate? Travelling home on the one of the coaches. Oh, mate, I hope the weather's a bit better for you there. David says Agueli should start next week along with Azon next week. I agree. Yeah, that was my point earlier, Banger. Both Leeds and Sunderland have had a good start in the Prem, so it does show that you can. Hang on. Can't read it. Where are we? Does show it can be done. Very poor last season. Unfortunately, it carries into the start of this season. Again, I don't rate Greaves at all. I think he's been found out this season. I agreed. I also think that O'Shea is a very poor captain. I don't think he's captain material. Jay says Azon up top. Sammy instead of Akpom. Maybe Noonan is in for Kajusty. Gelly to start on next game on the right. This is very true, yeah. We've spent these players, and it was all very good, Núñez coming in, and you know, and yeah, we got to stick our two fingers up at the scum of the North, scum of the A140, but you know, you've got to play these players at some point. So when does Núñez play? When does Igeli play ahead of McAtee? If not O'Shea, who would be the captain? Ooh. I think Matasui is going to be a captain at one point. Dominic says Young, possibly, I agree, but I don't think Young starts every game. Yeah, I just don't see O'Shea as captain. I thought he was poor for, Leif Davis. Travis Burgess was given a raw deal by McKenna and the club. Don't blame him for leaving for a better deal. Dominic says he brought Núñez in for a lot of money and needs to start for me. Again, I can't disagree. Womble says Warfield Burgeon for captain. Matasiwa or Kajus for captain for me. Well, look. God, what was his name that pleased to play for us? And he was never captain material. I can't think of his name now. Oh, God, 2000, I think it was 2017, 16, 17. I can't think of his bloody name. He played at the back. Chambers was right. Yeah, I can't think of his name now. But he was a terrible captain. We need that Morsey type captain, and we don't have that. And we've got no other leaders on the pitch. That's the other thing that pisses me off, you know? We've got no leaders on the pitch. Prob's doing fine, thanks, David. I appreciate that. You know. No, I know, you're right, Dom. KM won't drop O'Shea as a skipper. We can only hope. You could argue Palmer could be keeper. Could be captain, you know. For me, O'Shea's been an absolute awful. I've got some giggling outside. I don't know what's going on out there. But anyway, that's my evening head wobble. Head's gone. Rant on today's shocking performance. We've got away with one. We've got away with a downpour, which has abandoned the game. Will Greaves red card stand? Who knows? We're going to have to go there again. All them fans, us armchair fans, you know, we can't go to these away games, but these top end, you know, loads of points, and you know, we can go to away games every week. You know, they're obviously the real fans of Ipswich Town. You know. Anyway, at least we didn't lose. Fucking hell. Feels like a loss. Feels like a loss. Dominic, absolute great live chat, mate. And look, this is just me. This is me being honest. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm having my opinion. And if I've had a head wobble, so be it. If I've lost my head, so be it. But you'll always get straight talking. And that's what you'll get from a fisherman. You'll get, and like I said, it's my opinion on things and how I feel about the club that I've supported over 50 years. So, hopefully we get a good result against Portsmouth. Absolutely, Dom. All good discussion, Mike, and it's nice. Well done, Mike. Enjoying your honesty. Don't change, mate. Absolutely, Graham. Lucky the Irish. We can only hope that Kieran McKenna changes things around. Absolutely. You won't. No, I will never clap a team off if I think they've done shit. Not in a million years. I'm not a happy clapper. I'll leave that to Rich. I'll leave that to the old cruncher. He can. Anyway, on that note, I love you, Rich, really. Lads, ladies, on the chat, thank you for joining me live. Until next time, I'm the Fisherman. Like, subscribe, come and join me on the next live, and we'll catch you up soon, guys. All right? Thanks. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.